what I'm doing in my job. And it should end there. My opinions. That's it. That's all I got. I feel like the commitment is being honored, and I understand that you feel very strongly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is, baby. Yo! Are you Maddie Lane, baby? Listen, we're going to talk to you guys about Married at First Sight with Meka and Michael. Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click that bell button for the notification of the uploads, baby! Listen, you ain't got the minerals, baby. You ain't got the minerals. You ain't got the minerals. Listen, alright, guys. Are you Maddie a Gigi? Let's get into the video. So, Michael's at it again. Michael, you're at it again. Michael, you're at it again. Listen, I don't understand what you're doing, Michael. Alright, cool. Let's break it down, yeah? I'm going to give you a little oversight and then we're going to go into the video. I'm concerned because obviously, how many times are you going to lie? Now listen, don't get it twisted. I totally understand. And yes, I understand. We now begin to understand the why of why he lies. And let me be very frank as well. Meka is not the soft landing pillow that he needs, yeah? She's not, yeah? But that does not mean that there's a continually excuse for you to keep on lying.
Tease for not having a dad or not knowing your mom. So there were stories that definitely made up, and it's something that in some ways have manifested itself as an adult.
Now obviously that is the reason why he's lying. So now we've got the reason why he's lying, because he's protected himself, and also he feels like he has to uphold a certain image so that he doesn't reoccur what he felt when he was younger, the fear of rejection. And I get it. And listen, I get it. But the trouble is, he started off that way. And unfortunately, for an individual, how do we know that you're not going to continue being that way? What else are you going to lie about? And are you going to lie to a point that we die? You know, you have to think about these things. So, now let's break it into the video. They're in the bedroom, okay? And one thing I realized, obviously, that both of them are trying to work on communication, trying to do better in terms of showing more love, physical affection, him trying to stop lying, and he's promised now. It's like on the 10th time or so, whatever she said, he's promising. And the first thing we see is that when he comes into the room, she's lying on the bed, and he gets onto the bed, the first thing that we see is that they're still unable to collapse the proximity between the two. They are not there yet. They're not even close. Do you see how much gap is between them? I can fit in between them. That should let you know already that this couple is not feeling comfortable necessarily with each other's presence. Now, it doesn't mean that whenever you get on the bed, you're always going to sit. No, sometimes you want to sit on the edge of your bed and do your work. Don't get it twisted. But in this particular case, they were going to be working together. You understand? And they didn't come any closer. In fact, Meka makes a point oftentimes to move closer. But in this particular instance, she sits where she's sitting. He sits where he's sitting, and then, you know, they initiate a conversation about whether they should go into a conversation to go about talking about their finances, yeah? And then Meka does something which is interesting. She says, I will go first, right? Because what she wants to do is show that she's transparent. Now, she's comfortable with being transparent. She's got no problem with being transparent about her finances. In fact, she whips up the laptop. And, you know, something that was really interesting is that before she whipped out the laptop, she grabbed his hand. Yeah, she grabbed his hand and they were holding hands. Yeah, which was again her push again to say, listen, look, this is me trying to be more affectionate, more loving, more physical touch in a sense to make it comfortable for you. Yeah, so I love that. That was the first instance that she did there. Yeah, which was based on what they spoke about. Then she did something which was very interesting, because if she wasn't genuine about trying to bring this hand touching thing, what she would have done after would have been leave it alone. So when she grabbed her laptop. To say, listen, I'm going to check the payslips and show you the payslips, what she did was that she re-grabbed his hand. Which is very interesting, because actually, if she wasn't really about it, she would have left the hand. But it shows that Meka's trying here. She's trying to make, to cross the road, to build a bridge over, right? And what we need from Michael is the same thing. Because it's a vicious cycle where he wants vulnerability from her, right? He wants her to be vulnerable and honest and vulnerable. And she wants to be truthful. Which one comes first? Truthfulness. Without the truthfulness, there cannot be vulnerability. I'm sorry. Without you being truthful, there cannot be vulnerability. If you've been a known liar, the person cannot be vulnerable around you because they cannot trust what you say. And in fact, there is no foundational basis for you to stand on when there's no truth. What am I standing on? A rocky ground. A wise man builds his house upon a what? Rock. Do you know who the rock is? The rock I stand, all of the ground is sinking sand. That rock is Jesus. That Jesus rock represents, he came in what? He came in grace, and he came in what? Truth. So rock stands for what? Truth. If I do not have truth, I stand on sandy shores. I do not stand on rock. And in that instance, at any moment, this house can come down. So, added to that, what was interesting though is, I don't know if Meka, I think Meka's got rest bitch face. I just think that's what she has, because when Michael comes in, she just not, her face does not match the hand grab. Because it's like, the hand grab is like affectionate, loving, but your facial expression doesn't show that affection. And I know you can smile, I've seen it. I know you can laugh, I've seen it. I know you banter, I've seen it. So that face that you got there, it's not matching the hand grab. It's not very inviting, I've said this before. And so it's almost like it feels like a conflict between the action of hand grabbing, which then I said it was authentic, which may not be so as authentic, but just be doing it because you can do it and you have to do it in order to try and get him to be honest. Then yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that. It's interesting as well that Meka's language was very key as well, because somebody who's looking into the future, their language is very futuristic, right? Somebody who's not looking into the future talks in a past tense sense. But Meka says, if we are looking beyond 8 weeks, if we're looking beyond 8 weeks, we need to look at pace, we need to look at our finances. Now, when you say that, if we are looking beyond, it is talking about a present participle going into the future. You understand? If we're looking to go beyond, that means that she's letting you know that, listen, in order for us to go beyond, this is what we need to do.
It's important for us to, like, if we're looking beyond the 8 weeks and if we really want to start to, like, a life together.
So there's hope, that means, yeah? As a man who's broken up with a few girlfriends, you know when you're looking for that word, innit, to connect, to let you know that there's still hope. That's what she did. What was interesting for me is that obviously when she asked for the pay slip from Michael, obviously he didn't have a pay slip because I guess he just started to work. What he brought out was a confirmation letter or offer letter. Now, I don't know, yeah, but I've had offer letters before. Blood, they are thick. They are thick. They're not 2 pages. I can't remember the last time I had an offer page that was 2 pages. So when he told me the offer page was 2 pages, I was looking at it like, really? That don't make no sense. But hey, let me just go for it. And so he pulled out the offer letter, and the first thing he did was kind of explain that there will be a difference between the sheet and actual salary because of what they will take off the pay, etc, 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 etc. Now, here's the thing. Meka, as she said herself, is a mathematician. So how the hell are you trying to feign it in your sheet, bruv? And the numbers don't add up. The numbers do not add up. Now here's the thing, it didn't add up for me anyway, because you don't ever put your net pay on a confirmation letter. You put your gross pay. They should not be doing deductions on a confirmation letter.
And it says gross. And gross means before anything is taken out. Plus, jobs can't predict if you're going to claim 1 versus 5.
It's a confirmation letter. So the only thing that should be on there is your salary. And what they're confirming the salary will be. And that's before tax. I've never seen one that's after tax. Because they don't do them things, because they don't know what you're going to get taxed. The tax year may change, your benefits may be different. They're not going to put anything on that sheet because there is only a confirmation letter, remember. So how he had different numbers so large, and it was double figures, the numbers basically that was different, to a point where you think you can lie about this, fam. Like blatant gross and net. It's showing us that, fam, this was inherent behavior where, and then you go on to explain that obviously you switched the job that you originally had was going to pay far more, but because you didn't take it, etc, etc. But bro, anyway, we'll talk about it, trust me. It was interesting because when you see Meka's reaction, she has to eat. When Meka's reaction to when he pulls out the letter, this girl was looking forward to this day. She readjusted her whole body. Like she literally got into a better position. Almost like, you know, when you're getting ready to eat popcorn in front of a TV, got herself in a better position to see what's going on, fam. And I was like, oh, okay, she's that invested to find out what's going on here. Okay, I see you now. And so that's how infused she was about seeing this payslip, because she wanted to be able to either say, look, we're moving forward now, and at least now he's giving me some truthfulness. He's giving me some idea of where we stand. And then obviously once she got the paper, the way her face studied that paper. This is a girl who's scrutinizing every single situation, and I don't blame her, because when information is presented to you, look, I've been in a place, I had a friend, so hurt, that could lie like nobody business. And I've never encountered somebody like this. So when I say I'm shocked, I was shocked. I've never encountered anybody like this that can lie about anything, but specifically finances. The person was lying where they were living, where they were on holiday, who they took on holiday, where they were, when they borrowed money from you, they were saying that they were doing it for this, and found out it was other places. But the person was solely lying. I can't tell you how I know, but I know. And I knew they were, and I got to a point where, at first I was believing everything they said, and then it got to a point where the lies were just too much. That even a simple thing like I went on holiday to Rome, I started looking into it, finding out that you weren't in Rome. You were over here, you were there, you were this or that. Do you understand? There were so many lies, and the person, just like Michael, like, you just wonder, why are you doing it? Why so much? And so you begin to scrutinize every single detail. I remember they passed me their passport photo. I opened the passport and I looked through it proper. Because normally what I would have done was like, I wouldn't even ask you for a passport. You went on holiday, yeah, I believe you. But I said, bring your passport, let me see that you went on holiday. I looked at the passport, I said, so where is the stamp? Where is the stamp? It's not there. You didn't go nowhere, so lying.
So I'm just like trying to understand like what you're trying to tell me, because right now it's just not really making sense in my brain.
What was interesting was Michael's reaction. There was a lack of concern. There was a distinct lack of a reaction to the fact that he'd been caught out again lying. A distinct lack of reaction. That to me was scary. How is it that person's accused you of lying and you're acting like that? Do you get it? And it just makes you wonder, how many people in our lifetime do we encourage, that we meet that can lie like this? This is not conducive of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And so when I saw that, he literally, to show how calm he was, he literally folded the paper, didn't say a word, put it back into the drawer. Just like that. And so the only time we see, and then after that, what we see is that, Meka asked him to actually, to open up, to write down what his actual salary figure was. And he boldly did this. Boldly wrote down the figure. Now, I'm so sorry. And the reason why I'm saying I'm so sorry is because the sister, when she spoke to Meka, alright, said about obviously, he was in a, the way he grew up and stuff like that, and then tried to defend it. This makes me sick. Tried to defend it as if he was sitting here, he would talk about it was embellishing. Sis, is a goddamn lie. I hate people who do this. Don't try to make me look mad when you know this is not the truth. When you know your own sibling is a cold-hearted liar. Are you waiting for me to be dead and buried in the ground for him to lie, for you to understand that lying is evil? What is this? Listen, let me tell you something. I love my family. Yeah, and they love me. I love my brothers and my sisters. And don't get it twisted. We all defend family members to the hills. But if you're a blood clot liar, I'm going to tell you straight. And I'll tell your partner straight. You're a damn liar. I ain't going to lie to you. It ain't about he's exaggerating a little bit. He's a liar. You say you make 20 grand. You put 25 instead. That's not an exaggeration. It's a lie.
Honesty, if he were to be here today, he might call it exaggeration.
Simple as. It's a lie. Cold-heartedly. You understand? This is not a hyperbole situation. You're lying. Stop it. And this is what we're saying. He's been enabled since he was a kid. Because if you know that he embellishes, which means you know that he's been embellishing for time. You knew this. He's a liar. Simple as. And because they haven't been checked from birth, hasn't been checked from youth, this behavior continues. When Meka's outside, when Meka's talking and getting angry, I notice obviously again we see the Michael hand touch, the face touching that he does. When he's nervous, and anxious, I notice his hands always go to his face. When he's anxious about things, his hand normally rests here. He does this and rests it here. When he's nervous and anxious, he also starts touching his face and touching around himself, around his facial areas. This is the way that he excretes the anxiety. Remember, I keep telling you, there's a way that human beings excrete how they're feeling. You understand? And so that's the way that he releases it. Hold on. Yeah. That's the way that he releases the tension that he's feeling in his body. And it's interesting because obviously, you know, during the course when she's checking the paperwork and everything like that, she breaks the handhold and she's there with a calculator on things, yeah? Because at the point in the time, in the moment, the most important thing is that she actually finds out what's going on. And like I said, when she confronts him, it's so interesting that nonchalant behavior.
Let's be honest.
That's scary. But because I know that, you know, relating it forward to the conversation that he has with Dr. Viviana later on. When he's talking to Dr. Viviana, you know, he says obviously the fact that, you know, he's trying to protect himself, but again, he's in a place of trying to explain every action. Because he's an individual that needs to explain what he's doing, how he's feeling, how it's going. Without that, he feels tense, he feels clogged up. Meka is not the bird for you, my guy. You've broken that. The very first day when you talked about sexting. And now we know the sexting was real. And that's scary. Because now we know the sexting, when you were lying saying you never said it, you never said it. You said it. That's scary. What else are you going to say? I mean, how can she trust you to give you sex when you're a liar? You will never know when this guy's telling the truth. And, you know, it was such a serious situation that you see that Meka's anger.
I know we said we won't walk away, but honestly, I am at my breaking point right now. I need to step away from this because I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation with him.
Meka's anger and frustration was turned onto the producer, Montre. She said, Montre, I can't do this, I can't do this. And she got out the bed. That let you know the kind of level that she was at, just like the last episode. That she had to walk away from the situation. And then she was talking to them outside, saying, who wants to marry a liar? And that's why I'm saying to you, there again lies a fault with Married at First Sight. When 2 or 3 of these lies happened, they should have been stepping in. There should have been Dr. Viviana, Pastor Cal, all over this. Because this needs psychological help. He needs psychological help. He doesn't need Meka. What we're looking at is looking at the black woman again to be the superwoman for the situation. Which is what's frustrating. Because see how excited Dr. Viviana is, yeah? To have Zach, Mindy leave Zach. I don't see the same excitement for Meka in dealing with Michael. Do you understand? I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying I don't see that same excitement. You know what I'm saying? Almost as if the black woman is expected once again to pick up the pieces and be a superwoman. It's almost expected once again for us to understand how Michael is. Now, I know that Zach hasn't necessarily lent himself to us by telling us why he's acting the way he's acting. But there's no sympathy. There was no sympathy for Zach to get out of the situation. Get him out. But with Meka, there seems to be like this kind of thing like, come on Meka, you can almost do this. No, she can't. No, she can't. He's a goddamn liar.
Once is the honor day, but it's a marriage. I stayed and I allowed him to, kept giving him the benefit of the doubt each and every time. And he continues to lie. He needs help. That's beyond me.
And with obviously Michael, later on we see, we see in the bedroom even, when Meka's outside, he's actually listening. And he's there shaking his head and he's up against a pillar and like he can't believe it. What can't you believe? You lied. What can't you believe? You're a liar. See, these are the most dangerous pathological kind of liars. Listen, all this like is a little lie, he will grow out of it. Listen, people, check your children early. Do not let them get away with murder. Do not let them get away with just killing a cat. Don't let them get away with just killing an insect. What I mean by that is, don't let it be small and say, it's small, it's a little white lie. No! Because this is how we end up. This is how we end up. That he's standing there now, shaking his head as if he hasn't done nothing wrong, you know, and really there should be him going there, apologize and say, listen, I'm so sorry, I just keep lying, you know, and this is the reason why I keep lying. You know what I'm saying? None of that happens. So later on we see Dr. Viviana come over and we see that obviously there's a conversation that is had. And we see again proximity on the chair again. She's keeping herself to herself. What's interesting is her behavior when he finally explains that, you know what, the way his mother was, and and a little deep story there behind it. Like I appreciate that. She actually moves up next to him. There's a lot of work she's doing, you know. She actually moves up next to him, and I think she wanted to hug him, but she wasn't sure she should do it or not. Yeah, and that shows a compassionate side of Meka. That shows a loving side of Meka, and it's not the first time she's done this. We're on like our second or third time I've seen her do this. When he's talking about his situation as to why he's lying, she decides to move over. You understand? There's none of his. We don't get a full apology from him. We don't get a listen, Meka, I'm so sorry. You know, it's so crazy of me to do. We don't get none of that. We don't get none of that from her, but we get her moving over to try and show some comfort and care for this man. And this is why I'm saying this is it's despicable. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, to end it there, I really believe that this situation really taught us a lot of things, and one of the main things it's going to teach us from this scenario is that your children, the Bible says, teach them in the way to go, and they will, and train a child in the ways to go, and they will not depart from it. Meaning that if you train them in a way, when they get older, they will not depart from it. Let me tell you one of the ways that happens. Right now, blood, I live myself, and one thing I never did every day was do my bed every day. So when I'm older now, I don't necessarily do my bed every day. I do it, but I don't do it as... I need to do it a bit more, yeah? But one thing I used to do all the time was clean. Dishes, hoovering. When you come to my crib, you see the bathroom spotless. Because my dad used to make us do it all the time. The kitchen, I can't stand messy kitchens. I can't, I feel sick. I may have some dishes in there, but it's not a pile of dishes. You just see a few dishes. And when I come to cook again, I've cleaned everything. I like to clean as I go. Yeah? Because I've been taught that from age young. You understand? So now that's embedded in me. I don't depart from it. And the exact same way, if a child is taught that he's allowed to lie, if a child is taught he's allowed to get away with murder, it will get away with murder when it gets older and more. Training that child is so important. So guys, I'm going to end it there. I say, listen, Married at First Sight, Meka, Michael. You already know what time it is, baby. Appreciate you all. Stay locked, stay loaded.